Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And it's time for a Thursday edition of Mick Shots. Everson Walls with his early Christmas gift, a cowboy blue sweater that he's donning today. There are football players on a football field, and we're getting excited about Christmas weekend.
Are you saying
football.
Anything about Spags? Nice little outfit, man. Nice little top. Look
It's
at
kind
that.
of greenish.
Yeah,
so
it's
I
really
didn't want
cool.
to bring up the fact that you're not wearing any school colors today, Mickey.
No one's playing, is there, other than high schools?
No, that's right. But, I mean, your cowboy colors you're not wearing today.
You said school colors.
Yeah, well, it's...
My school colors. And
Someone
the
played
Cowboys,
last night.
Yeah, they did. Was
Yeah.
it UNLV?
Yeah, UNLV against Cal.
I missed that.
They won?
I must admit.
Well, we can talk some college basketball if you'd like.
We can.
Uh-huh. That's right.
I'm not ready for college basketball.
Yeah.
yet.
I think he wants to talk that because Oklahoma won yesterday. The big win.
Did they beat the number one team in the nation?
They beat Michigan. I don't know what they're ranked, but Oklahoma just might be the number one team in the nation before you know it,
Well,
Mickey.
they got to play Missouri twice, so be careful.
You guys have a squad?
They beat Kansas with ranked number one.
Oh, okay.
You guys missed that, didn't you?
Are they unbeaten?
One loss.
Well, OU's unbeaten. So
Okay.
Okay, so it's going to be a showdown. All right, but we have football players on a football field. It's
Hopefully
a
there's
beautiful
enough
day
of
for
them.
football here today.
Yeah,
so you're-
Spags was out there trying to count to see who's missing.
So who's missing?
They had six missing
he was
yesterday.
out- he was
and
eyeballing it. He
and
was
it was
eyeballing
only a walkthrough.
Mm-hmm.
So we know Diggs is out. Chuma was out with an ankle. Eric Kendricks was personal rest, so not worried about that. The one that I think may be a concern is Mozzie Smith with a back because they brought back Justin Rogers today.
Justin Rogers.
Seventh-round draft choice. He was on I think he was on
Cincinnati
practice squad. And they signed him to the 53.
Really?
Yeah.
What's he play?
Defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle. Big old defensive tackle out of Auburn.
Weren't we talking about that yesterday? No
Yeah.
depth at defensive
exactly
tackle.
right. Well, they
Ose
had
is
that-
kind of out there by himself.
Oh, Will McClay had that in his hip pocket.
Right.
That was whenever the need arose, they would go to the Justin Rogers Bank.
Well, and if you think about it, when you sign somebody off the practice squad, you owe them 3 games.
How many games are there left?
But you also 3 games, and you also are hanging on to their rights going forward.
Okay.
So they could have signed him to a 2-year deal.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, which attracted, because it's also Justin Rogers' decision whether he accepts an offer from the
Right.
Dallas Cowboys
He didn't
or
have
any other
to,
team. That's
right?
right. So now you get down to the last 3 games, and here you go. You make that move, and you're fortifying yourself for the future too.
And they're, and all you got to do is sign them to, because
You got that 7th-round draft pick back.
yeah, that's right. Never thought of it that way. That's like when they signed Cavante Turpin, not knowing what he was. He signed a 3-year deal,
Right.
and it's like I know his agent, and so I told him, "What are you doing?" After he's Rookie of the Year, and I'm figuring, okay, he's up for a big payday.
Yeah.
And my buddy goes, "Well, when no one's knocking at your door, and you didn't." Play again in college and you get an opportunity, you basically sign whatever they offer you.
Right, and he's still, even though he came into the league late, he still falls into the category of he hadn't put in the time to earn free agency yet until his 4th year.
So now he'll be restricted this coming year, which sometimes they sign those guys early and give them a little signing bonus.
I think that should be part of the practice. I don't like waiting to the last minute. I don't like how we did it this year. I know there's all kind of circumstances that go with that, but
Like
the timing
money?
just needs to be a little better. That way you don't put yourself in a bind. Try and stay away from that if you can in some way.
Well, I think they've got a better idea of where they are against a very tight salary cap that's getting tighter next year. But they've already taken care of 2 of those big contracts, and now Micah, with his 5th-year options, is going to be 20-some million.
Right.
So they know that for sure. And
let's
they know
get that done.
what the quarterback is, and they know what the wide receiver is, and I don't know that they've got another big ticket item they got to worry about. But they got to worry about, would you like to bring Osa back? Would you like to bring Rico back? So those are things you got to take care of. And when you're a restricted free agent, you have the right of first refusal.
Right.
What year is Tyler Smith now in this league?
So he should
It's
be
third
going,
year. This is his
So they
third
gotta
year.
pick up
So
his
it won't be long, and
fifth-year option.
you'll
Yeah.
have a Tyler Smith decision to make.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, I
So
mean,
it's just ongoing.
Exactly. It's always going to be that.
Right.
You just got to hope the salary cap keeps going up.
Yeah, you're right. Because the salaries are going up. And they are making money. They are not going to pay anybody they can't pay. It's not like, oh, well, we're going to go into hock for this guy. No,
Right.
that is not happening. It's just a matter of getting it done. You got to be strategic about it. But the money is there if you're strategic about how you do it.
And the other thing, Jordan Lewis was, going back to the injuries, was limited yesterday with the elbow, but he said he's good to go. So that helps out on the
What did I tell you?
cornerback
That's my
position.
guy. What's our DBs? We're tough, man.
But the strange one, and did I mention? I didn't mention the other corner, the starters, right? The other corner, Oruwari. I thought he was out with an injury.
He's not there.
They wanted to see Andrew Booth out there.
Really?
I hope they saw enough. Sorry,
So basically, you're saying that.
not a fan of the guy.
No, but that also tells you they had seen enough of Oruwari in that game,
Right? Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Kind of
So
missed that
that is
coverage at
significant.
halftime.
Oh, man.
So that's the significance of that.
We never talked about that, did we?
Well, we talked about the other play that he made.
Right.
We didn't talk about the one that was blown.
So, and from your standpoint, when you're on the outside like that, and your guy breaks in, you got to take the other guy that's breaking out, right?
I don't think it was a man-to-man situation.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was just like you kind of match up, it's a matchup zone situation.
So you got to take the guy that comes into your area.
Right, but your area is way back there. Your area is not up here.
You got to carry him way back there,
all the way back there. Yeah, your area, it starts at the goal line and you come up. And I don't think
It's like when you're taking the trash out to the curb. You don't stop at if you got to go all the way to the curb, you don't stop at the flower bed, Mickey, and drop it off there.
Gotcha.
Right? You got to put it in the bin.
Yeah.
The bin is back there. You got to put it in the bin.
Because the garbage man's not coming up the driveway.
So I don't know what he was thinking, but man, in a situation like that, and let's just hope he's one of those guys, because I know I was. Once you get me, you're not going to get me with the same thing anymore.
Right.
So let's hope he's been here long enough to, I think that's his deal.
So
having Booth out there.
We took care of the special teams the week before. Now we took care of this. And so we're not going to get him.
No, those two things are never going to happen again.
That's right. Now, what's going to happen next?
We can't have another one of those. It's kind of hard to anticipate problems that you just assume that you would know, right? I mean, I wouldn't anticipate that you're not going to line up deep and stay deep. That's just you
Fool me
assume.
once.
Fool me once. Damn, I was stupid. That's what that is. That's what that is. I'm sorry.
All right, Mickey. Well, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rolling in here, and they are rolling in here. They've won 4 straight games. Their offense is averaging 31 points a game. Baker Mayfield, according to the head coach, is playing as well as he's seen him play in his career. He goes all the way back to having seen him at Lake Travis High School, where the coach's daughter was a few years ahead of Baker, but he's familiar with Lake Travis High School, and they're, of course, Garrett Gilbert was there. He had him, of course. But
a lot of quarterbacks came out of Austin, huh?
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yep.
So it's a weird season for them.
Yeah.
They start off well. They lose 4 straight, and now they've won 4 straight. But there's a caveat there. They've beaten the 2-12 Giants, the 3-11 Panthers, the 2-11 Vegases, and the Chargers, who are 8-6. So I give them that one.
Now that last win, that was this past
40-17.
Yeah, that was. I don't know if that means that they figured things out, because if you're going to be trending upward, this is the best time to do it.
Right.
This time of year, you don't want to go in with any question marks. But having said that, you're ramping up with these average teams, and now you beat a team like the Chargers. I don't know if I want to put the Chargers up there as an elite type of team in the league right now, but that was a big win for them. And the way they did it was very impressive.
So it's kind of like the Cowboys.
That's
Just
right.
like
They
the
got
Cowboys.
wins in this same stretch. They got wins over the Giants and the Panthers, which is the same as the Buccaneers.
Right.
And the only difference,
And they beat Washington.
and they beat Washington, which is the equivalent of beating the Chargers,
That's
right?
So you're looking
And they
at
lost to Cincinnati, which would have been, and instead, Tampa Bay got a win over Vegas.
That loss is going to come back
It
to
is,
haunt them,
bro.
right?
It is. That freaking punt. Jeez. Freaking block punt, man.
You know, and the other thing they've done well, too, winning those games, is they've only, in those 4 consecutive wins, they've only given up 60 points. So my math tells me that's 15 points a game. That's
And
pretty good.
Who do we owe that to, do you think? Michael Parsons?
No, I meant Tampa Bay.
You're
Oh,
talking
I
about
thought you were
Tampa
talking
Bay.
about
So
us.
their average margin of victory the last 4 games is about 31-15.
Sounds that way, especially when you put up a 40, right? So, yeah, I think Mike McCarthy said this is a big challenge, and I agree with him, because they're playing well offensively and defensively. You know, they're gonna meet the NFC Defensive Player of the Week with Levante David. Is that how it is? 103 tackles already.
You know who has the most solo tackles among active players in the National Football League right now with 1,100?
Is it David?
That would be Levante David.
Really?
He has 100 tackles. I believe I saw this in their notes. 11 straight times, 11 seasons in a row with 100 tackles.
Second-round draft pick in
How many?
2012. With at least 100.
How many seasons?
11.
Damn.
He came into the league in 2012. So this is
Guy's
his
been here forever.
13th year out of Nebraska.
I thought
So
you
he
said
was
7. I
he
thought
was
you
with
said 7. You said 11.
he played for Nebraska when Nebraska was good.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Long time ago. Oh, he back there with Johnny.
Plus, the
Johnny Rogers.
is it Thanksgiving again?
Right. You know, this team, the Cowboys team, you know, what Tampa is, they've been that before. They have been that team that's gotten on the road. Baker Mayfield has really been consistent with them. You know, he's had some inconsistencies, but overall, you know what you're going to get with Baker. He's going to come out just really trying his hardest, and you're going to get your best from him. And there are some times when you might see greatness from Baker Mayfield. But this Cowboys team, with the running game that they have and the way this defense is playing, it can be probably the best team that we've had uniquely, I'll put it like that, in quite some time. I'm not talking about the quarterback position.
Just despite all the injuries.
All
if
the
you
injuries
add
and
that
what
one
we've
in.
come through, and now with what our game plan is. Our game plan is not to come out Dak, CD. It's not that. Our game plan is to come out, hit you in the mouth right now on both sides. On both sides. And the way we're running that ball, no one's really that comfortable with us, the way we're running the ball. And I know the teams aren't that great, but we did what we were supposed to do, which at times is a miracle for us, doing what we're supposed to do to win the game. And we've done that, I'd say especially the last 3 weeks.
The Cowboys went through a stretch of the season where they had like 5 straight games against what were then division leaders, and then they've gone through a stretch of about 4 games where they haven't faced division leaders. Right. Well, now they're back playing a division leader this week in Tampa Bay, and then a division leader next week in Philadelphia. So we're going to find out a lot more about where this Cowboys team is.
That's
right
what I
now.
talked about yesterday. You know, this Tampa team coming in here, that's usually the type of teams that really put us in our place. They've done that in the past.
Well, if you look at that 5-game stretch, so Detroit, first place.
Yeah.
Well, in Pittsburgh before that, and the Cowboys won that game.
Yeah, Pittsburgh now. Now, San Francisco fell off. Atlanta, second place. Philadelphia, first place. And Houston still hanging in first.
And Atlanta was a first-place team when they played.
Them,
and Houston's won their division. Yeah.
So that was
Atlanta's last good game.
That was the stretch.
Against us.
Because think about it, after Pittsburgh, we forget they were 3-2. So,
but like I say, it's our style of play that's different now.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very different now. We're not throwing the ball. We are basically a run-first team. I don't think I can't remember us being a run-first team in a long time.
Well, we'll
and winning while doing it.
Now, going up against this defense, we'll find out if they can.
And the interesting thing is, even
if I'm an offensive lineman, if I'm an offensive coach, let's see what's going to happen. We're going to continue to do what we do.
The interesting thing about it is, even after Dak got hurt in the Atlanta game, it took like 3 games before the Cowboys figured out that, okay, we need to run the ball first rather than pass the ball first.
And it's helping him out. I mean, it's helping Rush out. He's, basically doing what he can, and we're living and winning with his limitations.
Well, and the beautiful thing about it, too, is CD's still getting his numbers. 9 catches, 116 yards, and a touchdown with this philosophy. He's benefiting from it. By the way,
I would have to say that the running game is helping him with separation.
That's right.
You don't have the double teams. We need that safety down here to plug the run. Now I can work on you one-on-one, and most likely I'm going to create the separation on a consistent basis.
And it doesn't mean you're running an emphasis on the run doesn't mean you're flipping the script and going 70% run plays and 30% pass plays.
No, but we're
it's
running,
still a passing league.
It's still a passing league, but we are running and giving our passing game
a chance.
And it helps when you're not down by 20 points.
No doubt.
Immediately.
And that's what I'm talking about with Michael Parsons.
Because I was looking
when
here.
He came back, everything changed.
From a passing.
That's a shame. That's something, isn't it? When he came back, not everything.
How about this?
But
since Micah's return, 6 games. Cowboys lead the league with 24 sacks. And they are 3rd in the league with 13 takeaways in those 6 games since Micah's return. And who has benefited a lot also from that is Osa Odighizuwa. Take nothing away from Osa's abilities, but having Micah back.
You can't get 2 or 3 people on you
the
now.
last 7 weeks, he leads the league with 32 quarterback pressures. Osa does.
Also,
that's because you got 2 people blocking, blocking Michael Parsons.
And when you mentioned about running the ball, they have 6 games already that they attempted at least 42 passes, and twice in the 50s. No, 3 times.
Okay.
50 passing attempts, 51 and 56.
And I think that the coaches would if they look back at it at the end of the season, they look back at it and they go, "We abandoned the run too early in those games." Yeah. There's a certain point in the fourth quarter where you have to abandon the run.
Right.
But there were third quarters of some of those games,
and that's when the game changed. The third quarters, not the fourth quarter. It's the third quarters coming out after halftime.
All right, we got much more to get to on this edition of Mick Shots in just a moment.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages, with pregame sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mick Shots.
The most electrifying event of the holiday season is here. Cowboys Christmas Extravaganza, powered by Reliant, is back at the Star in Frisco. Join us every Friday and Saturday night from November 22nd through December 21st for a spectacular holiday show with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, Rhythm and Blue, Rowdy, Santa Claus, and surprise tree lighting appearances from your favorite Cowboys heroes. Best of all, the show is free. For details, visit thestardistrict.com. Don't miss out on holiday magic. It's free, Spags. It's free.
Definitely is.
All right. Look at all that stuff you got in front of you.
Look at
Where
this.
are you going next?
We know Todd Bowles is the head coach, former Cowboy assistant. I think we mentioned Casey Rogers yesterday.
Defensive coordinator.
Skip Pete, running back coach, been with the Cowboys. George Edwards, linebackers.
Who's not only been with the Cowboys, but he was with Mike Zimmer for years in Minnesota.
Right. And with the Cowboys twice, by the way. And then they had a offensive assistant back during Jason's days, Kevin Carberry. He's an assistant over there. Oh, and by the way, we also produced two people on Tampa Bay's website. Casey Phillips, Bill knows very well. And it wasn't with us, but she was covering the Cowboys. Brianna Dix is one of their writers on Tampa, or whatever they call it, TampaBay.com or whatever it is. And I just called up. The two of them were doing a three-person kind of talk like we're doing right now and kind of previewing the game, and they were really good at it. By the way,
Casey Phillips has been good at it, and
Yes.
and she interned here with the Cowboys for a while, and maybe even when she was in high school. I know that when she was at the University of Missouri, but
there's the common denominator right there.
I don't know if it's Missouri or is it South Lake Carroll, because she impressed me so much when she was a student. She's about the same age as my daughters,
Right.
and she actually started a broadcast club at South Lake Carroll when she was a high school kid, and she played basketball as a sophomore. She made the varsity, so she's a good athlete also. But what was cool, kind of following her career, is she goes to Missouri, and then she worked for Disney and worked for the St. Louis Rams as well as I think the Washington Wizards, and got an opportunity with Tampa Bay. But it's just cool when you know I was about to say kid, but
she
a
was
young lady who you saw her when she was 15 years old, and she had aspirations to do this, and then she interned at Channel 11. She interned probably at about every broadcast entity in Dallas-Fort Worth, but that was how committed she was. Yeah. And then to see her go to Tampa Bay, and then they signed Tom Brady, and then she's doing interviews with Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. I mean, she's the one that's hosting these.
And she
15
was
years later,
the show
right? And what was really cool was when Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl, and she did a little selfie from the stands. Yeah, I mean, it was like I started tearing up.
Well,
you should have
watching where she came from.
Yeah, right.
How far she's come.
Right, and so anyway, it's pretty cool.
So we'll get to see them. Because she's like their head TV person on their website or whatever other shows they do. By the way,
I think I mentioned it yesterday, but Todd Bowles is a lover of HBCUs. He was at Morehouse after he played his first coaching job was a defensive coordinator for Morehouse University, HBCU in Atlanta. It's not in Florida or Jacksonville State. And you've got Grambling State after that. That's when Doug Williams was the head coach. He had come back for, I believe, his second stint at Grambling, and he brought Todd Bowles with him. If I'm not mistaken, that entire coaching staff was pretty famous guys, because Doug was relying back on his boys back when he played. So, yeah, and then after that, that's when he went to the Jets in 2000 after he left Grambling State. For those 2 years, in 1998 to 1999.
And you're familiar with his son, right?
No.
Troy Bowles, highly recruited linebacker, and he was at Georgia, and he's in the transfer portal right now. So,
what position?
Linebacker.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Of course.
Stud linebacker.
So we got ties with Tampa Bay.
When you look at their defense, we mentioned Levante David, but their two defensive tackles, Vita Vea and Kalijah Cansey, they have combined for 12 sacks. They each have 6 sacks. Not only defending the run, but getting to the quarterback. And with what the Cowboys have going on with injuries in the interior of their offensive line, can be a little bit of a test there.
As a matter of fact, this is a side note there. So I think at the time it was asked, Brock Hoffman was considered the starting center because they didn't know if BB was going to get back.
Right.
So they asked him, has he studied Vita Vea and, does he know much about him? And he said, yeah, I was talking to Biotish about it, and he was cluing me in on some stuff. So how about that? He was using his sources to be able to scout, having to go up against that,
against that
mammoth
guy.
of a guy.
Exactly.
Right?
And it's not just how he looks, it's how he plays.
Yeah.
This young man is he's got a high motor.
You better double team him.
And see, that's the kind of thing that if I'm the offensive line and I'm going up against him, you got to feel some type of a challenge. I mean, I don't mean just going in there like, oh, Lord, I'm going to be.
Right.
No, you got to go in there thinking, man, this is my chance. I got to show these guys what I can do. Now, forget not necessarily him. I got to show my teammates they can depend on me to play against a guy like that. I may not be the best guy out here at that position, but I'm going to show you can depend on me. I mean, at one point, and that's what we've been seeing. We've been seeing people that you can depend on. We've been seeing dependability. I want that to continue.
Well, and not just your teammates now, but how about showing this organization going forward?
Right.
Because there's we'll see what happens with Zach Martin. He's not obviously he's not playing forever, and he's likely going to retire.
Yeah.
And he's not under contract for next year, and so they've got decisions to make on their offensive line. There's openings at the end on that offensive line, and you can show
the end has been fixed up. They've been putting a little paint on it because we have been really successful at it. So I'm hoping they go into the game thinking, we're not afraid of you guys. We're going to challenge you because people have been running on Tampa. It's not like they've been invincible. And they've been scored on. Like you said, they lost 4 straight. that had something to do with the defense as well. So we got to find those cracks in the sidewalk.
He's 347.
That's how much he weighs.
347. And I don't think it's like big sloppy weight either. Mm-mm. So to me,
that's Samoan weight.
Yeah,
Samoan
and
weight
probably strength too.
Yeah, that's
right?
what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And to me, the offensive coordinator's got to figure out we need him going sideways, get the ball outside.
If nothing else, you just want to make sure that he is handled. One or two guys. You don't have to blow him off the line necessarily. Just shield him off. Let's hit him with some proper plays that can give our offensive lineman a chance. They don't have to be to where you have to hold a block that long all the time. There are schemes to where you can, and I know Nate Newton knows what I'm talking about, to where you can just shield the guy off and the running back's gone. I don't see him chasing too many people down from behind.
He's got 9 tackles for losses, but he has 6 sacks and 10 quarterback hits.
He is getting in the backfield.
Right?
And then Kalijah Kancey, their other guy, who's I think he's only played 9 games because he was injured earlier. He's got 6 sacks in 9 games, and he was a first-round draft pick last year.
So this should be something that they should relish. Let's see what we got. Let's see where we are.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I talked about yesterday. Let's see where we are.
And the fact that those guys have sacks in the middle, that's why you got.
That's extremely unusual,
right? You got to make sure you
Osa's
run
not
the ball.
Only one getting off inside. Yeah,
you make them be run conscious first.
One other interesting thing that I'll be looking at on Sunday night is when you look at the center for Tampa Bay, Graham Barton. He was a first-round draft pick last year, went number 26 overall, and I know he was on the Cowboys' radar and other teams' radar at that point in the draft. And the Cowboys had a decision to make on, do we pull a trigger on a player like that at a position like that, or do we trade down? And as it turns out, the Cowboys traded down, and then they got Tyler Guyton, their left tackle, 5 picks later. And they wound up with an extra third-round pick getting a center in Cooper Beebe, or center/guard. We'll see where he winds up eventually in his career. But they get Cooper Beebe there. And so, but Graham Barton's doing a really good job for them as a starting rookie center. And their offensive line is they've shorted up here in the last couple of years. They spent a second-round pick on their right guard, Cody Mock, last year, and they got another first-rounder starts at left tackle, and Tristan Wirfs.
They run behind them a lot.
So they start 2 first-rounders and 2 second-rounders on their offensive line. So
they don't mind going at them.
So, and that's what the Cowboys have been trying to do with their offensive line in the draft here the last few years, with a second-rounder, or rather a first-rounder in 2022 in Tyler Smith, first-rounder this year, who hasn't been ready yet, but we'll see how he progresses.
And a third-rounder, so
Yep.
They address it. Oh, by the way, before we go to break, they also, by the way, have 7 starters listed as not practicing yesterday. So they've got some issues too. But yesterday
this
is
time
a
of the year,
practice.
it's like for everybody in the league. It's not just the Cowboys that.
It's load practice management.
We're deep into the season. This is week 16. All right, and speaking of that, I need to work on my load management. I just don't feel like. I think I need to take a break.
You can't finish those last 10 minutes.
Unless now, if we were doing some sort of in-season tournament, or we had some
money involved, more money,
then I might stick around and play the fourth quarter.
Okay, man.
But
all right.
I'm thinking, I probably need to save myself, because we're going to be back here at 10 a.m. tomorrow, right?
That's right, 10 o'clock tomorrow.
That's right. So I'm going to bail out and rest up for tomorrow's 10 a.m. show, and you two take it the rest of the way.
I have never bailed on my team.
Okay, all right.
We'll see if anybody from the practice squad walks in.
Okay, all right. Is that a call out to Nate?
As always.
He's listening.
The seat's warmed up for you, Nate. All right.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pregame sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
The Dallas Cowboys gift guide is here, and it's got everything you're looking for. This holiday season, grab winning gifts at a pro shop near you or log on to shop.dallascowboys.com, a Fanatics experience. Bam, I am done for reading today.
All right, and we'll continue on here without Bill Jones, who has another job to take care of. We have
one that pays.
Multiple people to take care of it at this organization. We'll continue with Mick Shots going forward. The Cowboys getting ready right now out on the field. And as Everson noticed, everybody was standing on the field where the sun is.
That's right. That's right. No one was in the shade.
Got a little chilly here. You brought this up yesterday, and Mike talked a little bit about it today. Carl Lawson kind of showing up, especially in this last game.
Yes. Something
caught your eye for sure.
No, there's no doubt. Well, Olga's helping him down there. There's no doubt about it, right?
Yeah.
Having Micah come back and Lawson, getting – well, he really doesn't get but about 50% now? Is he getting more than 50% of the plays?
It's maybe that many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those 2 sacks that he got, what was that, against Atlanta?
He got 2 sacks against Atlanta. He had 1 sack. He only had 1 tackle in this game, Carolina, but he had a sack, a tackle for a loss, and 2 quarterback hits. He played 44% of the snaps.
Yeah.
But you knew he was out there.
Yes. And he's one of those guys, he kind of held it down until Micah came back.
Yes.
And those 2 sacks against the Falcons, that kind of let people know that, practice squad players, they're not just practice squad players all the time.
And I think the other guy.
They're not thinking like practice squad players.
Right.
That's what you want.
And he, no off season, no training camp, no ramp up. Basically, his ramp up was, being on the team, getting a chance to practice. So,
and that's what I was always saying about a practice player. It is true. You say it many times. When a guy messes up, that's why he's a practice squad player. I get that. That is viable. But when you start talking about players that really need to make a difference on the team, and everyone we bring in, they're not going to be stars, but everyone we bring in are not going to play like practice squad players. And he's one of those guys. They asked me one time to send my Grambling State boys a message. And they were asking all the alumni to send in messages to them to motivate them during the season. And the one thing I told them is, don't let somebody else tell your story. Don't let somebody tell you how good you are. We all went through it. Somebody probably told you can't write.
They did.
And so now here you are. So Yeah, and Grambling, I'm sorry, not just Grambling, but the Dallas Cowboys has always been a team that has had overachievers. We are known for that, okay? I mean, so that's a culture here. So that's what I'm looking forward to here. Somebody like Lawson, show me that I am better than my narrative.
And show that I can play like I did a couple of years ago before things went south when he was with the Jets.
Right.
Because the previous year to that, he was a big-time player. They paid him. And then I'm not
I
sure
really look
exactly
forward to
what
him
happened.
doing. I really look forward to him doing more with us.
Right.
I'm talking about no one tackle games. Now that was a weird game Sunday, to where it was extremely balanced as far as our defensive attack. You didn't have a bunch of people, a lot of tackles.
And I think what they made a priority was make sure this dude stays in the pocket.
Yes.
He got out the one time.
But they even stopped Chuba.
Yeah.
They stopped Chuba from getting his 100 yards, if I'm not mistaken. And this is a guy that was running very well before that game, and we controlled him.
And I think people need to also understand that Tampa Bay, while they're in first place in the NFC South, they only got a one-game lead on Atlanta. And they realize that they got beat by Atlanta twice. So if there's any ties, they're out.
They're a totally different team now. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Both teams are totally different teams now.
So they've got to maintain a one-game lead on the Falcons. Otherwise, they're in trouble. So they're somewhat of a desperate team that, depending on what Atlanta keeps doing, they got to keep winning too. They almost need to win out.
We have seen games where that narrative is facing another team coming into the stadium, into the AT&T Stadium. And we've played like that, meaning we put the pressure on them from play one. We haven't really done that this year, at home.
Right.
We really haven't done that this year. There are games where we've come out in the past, many games where we are bringing it to them right away. We score on the first drive, not field goals. We're talking touchdowns. We got the sacks. We're doing all of that. We can play like that in this game. We can. We can get back to that because we used to do that all the time. And if we do that, I think we could intimidate these guys because they're coming here.
Put the pressure on them.
Put the pressure on them. They're coming here. We're not going there. They're coming here. And we need to make them feel that. I don't know what the crowd is going to look like, but I don't need a big crowd.
Don't need a bunch of red blotches in it.
That's right.
The other thing, you win the toss. What are you doing?
I'm taking the ball.
Take the ball, right?
I'm taking the ball and I'm running it. I'm going to run it down their throats. And every time we gain, my crowd's going to be going crazy.
Right.
And that's the whole thing also. This crowd needs to understand this is a different culture we have here now. We don't have the Dax. We don't have, the fancy wide receivers running all over the place. We got just CD doing this thing, working hard. That's what we've turned into right now. We are not the team that we were last year. I don't mean that we don't have the talent, but we certainly don't have the same game plan.
Yeah, because a lot of times I hear, well, this team was 12-5 last year. Well, this ain't that team.
This ain't that team. We are totally different.
Right.
And they were fussing about us being 12-5 the last 2-3 years anyway. So don't worry about what the record is right now. We just need to make the damn playoffs.
Would you take 12-5?
I sure would take 12-5 right now.
And
I'm sure a lot of those people that were complaining, it looks good to them too. It looks a lot better than it was used to.
So everybody was like, "Oh, this is a Sunday night game. They're gonna change. They'll change. This is a big game for both teams,
game.
right?"
Just think about that Sunday night. Put the pressure on them. Put the pressure on them. Show them on nationwide television.
So, I think it was NFL Network. They figured out, how they do with the percentage chances of going to the playoffs, right? And obviously, like Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay, they're all either 100% they're going to go to the playoffs, Philadelphia, or somewhere in the 90s. Then you get down to the bottom, and it was the Cowboys, the Saints,
the Saints,
and San Francisco, 1%.
Damn.
1% chance.
My business partner's a 49er fan. We don't even hardly talk this year because he ain't doing a damn thing. He's usually calling me, talking trash. What's wrong with the Cowboys? I don't hear from him anymore.
And I can't believe that New Orleans hasn't been eliminated already. They're 5-9.
Well, that doesn't make us look good.
Yeah,
because we're right above
them, but it's all 1%. I'm going,
1%.
Oh, that's pretty sobering,
that's
right?
Scary.
All right, well, that's it for Mick Shots on this Thursday. We'll be back again, and remember, 10 o'clock tomorrow for Bill and Everson. I'm Mickey Spagnola, and we will see you again tomorrow on DallasCowboys.com.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this?